Hello guys and welcome to volokinproject. This is Tony, and although it's only the first quarter of 2020, I still got my Christmas tree on, and in today's video we're going to focus on the Xperia XZ Premium and what kind of experience are you getting out of this phone in 2020, guys. In other words, is it worth buying a 2-year flagship phone? Now, on my channel, I never buy brand new phones because they're way too expensive for what they are, and usually it is not worth it, guys. I usually buy them after about a year when there's some sort of a discount or something like that. Depends on the brand itself. I've got a few videos on different Xperia phones. I have just bought an Xperia 5, and in this video I'm going to barely touch whether it is actually, worth it to upgrade from Xperia XZ Premium to Xperia 5, but that's gonna happen a little bit later on. Now, when this phone was released in 2017, Sony was trying to charge over £700 for this phone, guys, which was ridiculously expensive. However, in December 2018, pretty much a year and a half ago, the phone was discounted to $240. That was the right time to buy this phone, guys. However, in 2020, you can get a really good unit for just £100, guys, which is a crazy value for money for what you get over here. Because when you look at the Sony's new offerings, you can get an Xperia L3, L1 or L2, whatever the L is it at the moment, and yeah, you're taking an L when you buy an L series. So it's always better to buy last year's flagship, guys. Now, first of all, I'm going to talk about the design and build quality of the phone. I had a horror story with this phone because the unit that I bought had a cracked back. And apparently, if you crack the back, there's a big flex cable over here which goes on top of the battery. It's glued on top of the battery. And that cable is responsible for the fingerprint reader and the buttons and one of the speakers. So pretty much the moment you crack the back, this cable is gonna get messed up, and yeah, half of your phone is unusable. However, these parts are cheap, they're not easy to repair. It is a massive pain in the ass due to Sony's poor engineering, guys. The other thing is, I don't know who came with the idea to make a plastic sides over here and glass at the back. Really poor decision. If you're one of those guys constantly dropping their phones, yes, of course you can get a case. But we're talking about people who enjoy their phones naked. I'm gonna tell you straight away, get an Xperia XZ, XZS or XZ1. They're pretty much the same phones, but with metal packs, therefore more durable. In terms of updates, Sony, I don't know what they promised, but they kept updating the phone until July 2019, guys, which is more or less 2 years. This phone is never gonna get Android 10, but you get one benefit from that. In Sony's Android 10, especially with the Xperia 5 over here, the face unlock disappears, so you're left with just the fingerprint reader. By the way, the fingerprint reader on this phone works 100% of the time. It is extremely reliable. The face unlock works well, so I'm very happy about the unlocking methods of this phone. So yeah, the updates were good, and the phone works as intended as it is now, but it's not gonna get Android 10. This is the reality, guys. Now, when we talk about battery life, just over 3000 milliamp hours, and yeah, you're getting 4 hours of screen on time on average on this phone. It wasn't good in 2017, it's even worse now in 2020, yes, in 2020, guys. One more thing about the battery life, the recharge times are absolutely atrocious, guys. Half an hour gives you 45%, and you think like, okay, within 1 hour I'm done. No, almost 3 hours to 100%, which is unacceptable. But considering the Xperia 5 charges for 2.5 hours, yeah, not that much progress on Sony's side when it comes down to charging. The screen, true 4K LCD screen, absolutely amazing screen. However, the maximum brightness is not very good, guys, so you're always gonna run at about 80% of brightness, which decreases your battery life. And the other thing is that apart from being a 4K display, of course, it's very sharp. My particular unit, by the way, I don't know why, but it always works in 4K. That's not the case with all phones, but you can force the phone to work in 4K actually all the time. It doesn't impact the overall battery life too much. But one thing you should consider, that they still haven't fixed the issue where when you go on YouTube and when you try to watch 4K or 8K content, HDR is not available because you're getting a terrible stutters. HDR, just 1080p. Regular content, 4K and 8K, yes, you can actually do that. But apart from that, if you're not watching super high resolution videos all the time, just a regular 1080p screen, like the Xperia 5, it has an amazing 1080p screen. You're not gonna find too much differences, to be honest with you. Although I'm really impressed with the color reproduction of this screen, guys. When you put both of those phones one next to each other, you cannot tell that this is an LCD screen versus the AMOLED over here. The colors are amazing and the black levels are really deep as well. So the screen is still top notch. What is not top notch is the notches. They're absolutely massive and basically is the same size as the Xperia 5 over here. This one has a 6 point, I don't know what screen, 6.4, something like that. This is just for I don't know why I keep saying for 5.5 inch screen actually, guys. And of course you've got stereo speakers. They're absolutely pathetic and unusable. I've got a video comparison of the stereo speakers. They're really bad. You have the 3.5mm jack, of course. The audio quality is about average. Now, what else should we talk about? Snapdragon 835. Excellent performance, day-to-day tasks, gaming, excellent, guys. 64 gigs of base storage, that's as much as the Pixel 4 XL. 4 gigabytes of RAM, it's not enough, but you're not gonna multitask heavily with such an old phone like that. So let's say this is okay. What about the cameras of the device? At the back, the single camera does an amazing job in certain situations. In good light, the HDR is pretty good as well, guys. You can take some amazing photos. In low light, the camera is not that great, but what is absolutely fantastic is the actual stabilization. Even in 4K, absolutely amazing job. In 60 FPS in 1080p, you've got an excellent autofocus, which is an achievement as well. 4K recording with stabilization at the moment. It's not on the highest level, it's on standard. But in a minute we're gonna test the intelligent stabilization with 1080p, guys. So far so good. Let's just do a quick sprint over here to see how does it stabilize like that. Okay, and now let's quickly check the autofocus of this phone, guys. Let's see what do we have. Okay, excellent results. Let's switch to 1080p. Okay, guys, so that's 1080p now. The stabilization is set to the highest level, intelligent standard, actually intelligent active, or whatever they want to call it. Let's just do a quick sprint over here, guys, to see what do we have. I think that the results are pretty good. And now let's check the autofocus very quickly to see what we have. Okay, excellent, very subtle and very nice autofocus. Let's check the 1080p 60 now. Okay, guys, so that's 1080p 60 and I'm very happy that I see stabilization in the options menu. Let's just do a quick sprint over here to test this out. Okay, and now let's quickly test the autofocus with 1080p 60. Usually phones have problems with that. Let me just check this one out, guys. But on the Sony it is very nice, excellent. The phone overheats when you shoot 4K in prolonged periods, but that's always been the case with the Sony devices. Even the Xperia 5 is giving you a warning message that it can overheat, so I don't know what is Sony doing. But yeah, and the front camera is 13 megapixel, but the quality is pretty much not acceptable in 2020. What is really good is the stabilization though. let's have a quick look. Let me just point out that the field of view is absolutely amazing on this phone. So the stabilization is set to intelligent active. So let's see how intelligent it is while running like that, guys. Holding the phone with one hand only. Right. Check the dynamic range a little bit like that. So before I conclude this video, and we're gonna have a look at the Volokin Spectrum scoring system, but before that, is it worth to buy the Xperia 5 if you already got the Xperia XZ Premium? And the answer is yes, guys. The screen is an AMOLED one. It is in the new 21:9 aspect ratio. It is also AMOLED, so the screen is actually better, guys. You're not gonna miss the 4K from this one, I guarantee you that. I've compared them side by side. You can't really tell a difference on a screen that small, guys. Now, the other thing is about the battery life. This one I'm getting 7 to 8 hours of battery life, pretty much with the same battery capacity. This one I'm getting 4 hours, so the battery life is double. The speakers are not nearly perfect, but at least they're usable. They're a little bit of higher volume, so they can get actually the job done. So yeah, I mean the performance is flawless as well. Snapdragon 855. So don't buy it new though. Go on eBay, you can find a good unit for like 300 quid. In CEX I saw recently that they're selling grade B units for 260. So yeah, you can get an Xperia 5 cheaply. And overall, what are my impressions? This was a very good phone, guys, and the smartest people bought a new unit in 2018 December for Christmas. Now in 2020 these are extremely cheap, about £100. But again, because of the durability issues of this phone, I would go for Xperia XZ, XZS or XZ1 instead if you want something durable and something sturdy. So let's have a quick look at the Volokin Spectrum scoring system, shall we? For design and build quality, I gave the Xperia XZ Premium 3 out of 5 simply because of the glass back and the issues that are going to occur if you break that glass. For security, the fingerprint reader is fantastic. You've got face unlock, so easily 4 out of 5. The battery life is atrocious, so pretty much 2 out of 5, guys. The screen is really good, but because it's a little bit small for the form factor of the phone and because it's not an AMOLED, I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5. The headphone output is average, so it gets 3 out of 5. The speakers are terrible, so it gets just 2 out of 5. The selfie camera is not very good, but the stabilization is fantastic, so 3 out of 5. And the rear camera gets 4 out of 5, guys. The software gets 4 out of 5 because it's missing some features, and the overall performance gets 5 out of 5, guys. This phone is still flagship grade quick. So what is the overall Volokin Spectrum scoring system? It's 34 out of 50, which is not a bad score for a phone which costs only £100, guys. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know if you still got this phone. By the way, I really wanted the red version of this phone, but never managed to get one. Yeah, so let me know, when did you buy your phone and is it still working as intended, guys? I'm actually curious to know. And don't forget to check my unboxing of this phone if you're planning to buy one, and as well as my repair adventure of this phone and how many parts I had to replace just because of the back cover, guys. I'm going to put all links in the description down below. And by the way, on the side note, on Sony's website they still have this phone in stock for £450, which is absolutely insane. But anyway, that's about it, guys. Thank you very much for watching and see you in the next one.